Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to do a really quick video. This is actually going to be a new series, and they are going to be videos that have a really good tip that may take any of your treatments to the next level. So in today's video, we are going to talk about a way that you can get much better results from your microcurrent session. This was an aha moment for me. I started thinking about how at home, I don't always get the same results that I could get on a client in the treatment room with microcurrent. And it really doesn't have anything to do with the tool that I was using, because a lot of the tools that we have at home are perfectly adequate to get similar results as the treatment room. So I started thinking, why is that? What was I doing in the treatment room that would yield so much better results than what is happening at home? And it occurred to me that there's two things. Number one, I'm not performing lymphatic drainage or a massage, a facial massage on myself prior to doing microcurrent most of the time. I just go straight in with a microcurrent. And number two, I'm typically starting on my face and not on my neck. Those two things, if I switch those up, and I did, and it's true, will change everything, and they will do that for you as well. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is, prior to doing your microcurrent sessions, is to do some lymphatic drainage starting at your collarbone and moving up to your face. It's going to be very fast. I'm going to walk you through a few of the motions today so that you have a pretty quick, maybe 3 or 4 movement sequence that you can do. And then we are going to start our microcurrent, and that will yield better results. The reason for that is lymphatic drainage helps to move excess fluid off of our tissue. And the excess fluid that sits on our tissue is part of the reason why we don't have as much, definition in our jaw or crisp features. A lot of it is fluid and not genuinely sagging skin. So when I would perform a microcurrent session in office, I always did facial massage. I always did lymphatic drainage. I always started on the décolleté and moved up. And what happened was, by the time I got to the microcurrent session, that was the cherry on top. They already looked better before I even started doing microcurrent. I hope you enjoy this series. I hope that it's helpful. I hope it yields better results for you at home. I hope it encourages you to pull your microcurrent devices out. And I am telling you, it's good if you're using the ZIIP. It's good if you're using the NuFace. It's good if you're using the Foreo. It's good if you're using the TheraFace. It's good if you're using the Pico or the Myolift. Any microcurrent. This will improve your results. Okay, so we are going to start with the lymphatic drainage, and we're going to start at the collarbone. Now, the first thing that you are going to want to do is you're going to want to open up your lymphatic flow, and that's going to start basically at the kind of midline of your neck down to your collarbone. Now, a couple things to remember when you're doing lymphatic drainage is that it's extremely light pressure. Something else that I have to mention is that I have studied lymphatic drainage a ton. I've taken classes, I've taken online courses, I've studied books, and I've got charts. This particular book, the Book of Lymph, is hands down the best book I've ever gotten on lymphatic everything. The author, Lisa Gainsley, she also has an Instagram account that I highly recommend following. I really do want you to know that while I love practicing lymphatic drainage, I am not an expert in lymphatic drainage. I'm a lifetime learner, that's for sure. She's an expert, and if you want some really great information, I suggest this book and I suggest her Instagram. Okay, so we're gonna start with that first neck move, and we're gonna make J motions right here with a very gentle touch down to the collarbone and out. And just imagine that your fingertips are gently brushing a J onto your neck and down to your collarbone. Now, the reason why we are doing this is it's going to open up lymphatic flow. If you think about it, there's lots and lots of analogies that we can use about the bottleneck of lymph and how we need to open up the flow, but you can imagine it like a plugged drain, that we need to get the plug out so that the drain can drain freely, okay? So imagine everything up here is a tub or a sink full of fluid, and this is the beginning of our drain. And if we can open it up and kind of release the bottleneck, we can get some of this fluid to flow, which means that we can start to sculpt our jaw, our cheeks, etc., our eyes, all of it, okay? So we're gonna do that J first. The next move that we're going to do is we're gonna take the palms of our hands, we're gonna place them just underneath our ears with very, very gentle pressure, and we're just gonna pulse down the neck to the base of our neck. We're just gonna pulse down. And you're gonna repeat each of these maybe 10 times, okay? Now, the third thing, and this sequence is actually from the Book of Lymph, and I've seen many, many of these in other tutorials or other classes, but Lisa definitely puts it really plainly and really easily in her book. If you want even more elaborate lymphatic drainage sequences, again, I cannot recommend this book enough. It is just incredibly easy to understand, easy to follow along, and it's just fantastic. Okay, so she does something that she calls Spock. She takes her hands and puts them like a Spock, and she puts her fingers in front of her ears and behind her ears, and then she moves gently down. She finds the crook of the ear in the back and she moves down. Now, behind our ears back here, we have tons of lymph nodes. We have tons of lymph nodes on our jawline. We have them, of course, down our neck. We have them beside our nose and down here. So those are the areas that you really want to get that flow going so that as you're pushing it from out of your tissue, we get it into the lymphatic system and move it along. Something that's really, really important to remember with the lymphatic system in general is that the lymphatic system is different than our cardiovascular system, different than the system that moves our blood, because the lymphatic system does not have a pump. Now, what pumps and what moves lymph through our body is breathing, moving, things like that, and manual movement. So you have to remember that lymph can definitely get and be stagnant if you are sedentary, if you don't take deep enough breaths, if you don't move enough, if you don't do any lymphatic drainage, or of course there are medical reasons why you may have stagnant lymph that is completely out of my area of expertise, but that would require, physical therapy and professional lymphatic drainage. So once we do those two sequences and then we do our Spock, okay, we're gonna do each of these about 10 times. Now we can move into the back of the head. Now we have a ton of lymph nodes at the base of our neck and kind of on our occipital area here. We have a bunch of them here. Now, this move is not only great for lymphatic drainage, but it is also really, really nice, and it just feels really, really nice. So what you want to do is you want to take your fingertips and you want to walk them up the back of your head, right all the way up the back to the ridge at the top of your occipital area. So you're going to go from the base of your neck and gently walk your fingers up to the ridge, and then you're going to just pull them down. You're going to just wipe them down gently. You're just going to pull it down and you will feel a sensation. It feels so nice. It is so relaxing. You can also do like you're washing your hair and just massage from the front all the way to the base of your neck. When I did hair, I used to do that for people all the time. And I knew back then that would help with lymphatic drainage. It helps to just move everything along. Not only does that help with lymphatic drainage, but it actually helps with lymph in your brain, which can help with cognition. Whole nother story and also out of my scope, but really, really interesting. I mean, lymph and lymphatic drainage is a subject that I highly recommend that you just look into because it is certainly fascinating. So now after I have done that, for me, I like to start to do brush strokes from the back base of my ear, and I will just lightly stroke down my neck, okay? And I will do that. I'll do it more than 10 times. Sometimes I say 10, but I just do it until until I don't want to do it anymore. The other thing that I'll do is I'll just lightly take my knuckles and run on my jaw. Just do this. Very, very gently. You're barely moving your skin. Now, a lot of the time when you're working on your face, and we're not necessarily going to work our face today because that's what we're going to do with the microcurrent. When we are doing our face, a good rule of thumb is to move down, but towards the ears. So I will often do these kind of scoops. Again, super duper gentle, super light on the skin. A long time ago, I heard someone talk about a wine cork in water, and how the pressure that you want to put for lymphatic drainage should never submerge the cork all the way. So you just need this gentle pressure that would move the cork, but wouldn't put the cork all the way under the water. So imagine that when you are doing this, lighter is better. If you press too hard, you will actually kind of stop the flow of lymph and do pretty much the opposite of what you're going for. So you always want the lightest feather pressure, because that lymphatic system is in the dermis, but really just underneath the surface, and it is ever so finicky. It just wants encouragement. It doesn't want pressure, okay? Okay, so once we have finished doing our jawline, you can do some lymphatic massage on your face if you feel like it before you do your microcurrent. I typically save a lot of that for the microcurrent, because I find that any of these tools, just by following their directions, will move lymph, because you are moving from the middle of your face out to your ear. And what I would suggest when you're doing that with these tools is don't press too hard. You don't need to. As long as both probes have contact with your skin, then you're getting a good microcurrent treatment and you're getting a good lymphatic drainage treatment. Now, I will say that the Bear, which I know a lot of people just picked up because it was on super sale over Prime, this one is really fantastic for lymphatic drainage, because it also has that sonic vibration in it. In fact, I would say that since I got this, that was primarily what I loved it for, was for lymphatic drainage. The microcurrent is fantastic. It's the right amp, microamps and all of that stuff, but I really love it for the lymphatic drainage. So if you own this is a fantastic treatment. It's a fantastic twofer. Now, all of these microcurrent devices are going to provide a level of lymphatic drainage, just because of their presence on your skin with that conductivity gel for slip moving towards your ears. It's just going to help with that. So I encourage you with not only microcurrent, but also anytime you are doing any treatment on the face, think about moving from the midline of your face to outward always, because you always can be doing just a little bit of lymphatic drainage with any service that you're doing. Okay, at this point, you're just gonna do your microcurrent treatment. You're gonna do your treatment exactly how you always do your treatment. You don't really need to change anything. This was the precursor to your microcurrent treatment, and it should yield better results for you. And if nothing else, no matter what, massage and lymphatic drainage is just really, really good for us and good for our skin. So I am confident that not only might this be relaxing for you and a great form of self-care, but I am confident that it will be good for your skin regardless of what you follow it with. Be on the lookout. In August, we're going to do a lot of microcurrent content on this channel, because late September, October, November, December is microneedling. We are going to get back in. We have a refresh of microneedling coming, and one of the best preps for microneedling is microcurrent. So in the months ahead of microneedling season, microcurrent is a fantastic treatment to be doing, because we're helping with that cellular energy, which is going to then in turn be ready to boost that collagen when we do microneedling. I do hope that you enjoy this bonus move that I got from the Book of Lymph, and it is one of my favorite moves that I discovered from Lisa. It is the most relaxing, most calming way to end any treatment, and I hope you enjoy it. And I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care. This is such a fantastic move. Rub the palms of your hands together vigorously until they get very warm. Then place them over your eyes and breathe deeply several times, at least 10 seconds. After about 10 seconds, draw your hands down your face and rest your palms gently on your cheekbones. It's a perfect way to end a treatment.